Hello everyone, you're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubra Ali and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. Terrifying, suspect tries to drive over cruiser to escape after police surround stolen Bronco at Mississauga drive-thru. Police seek two suspects captured on video lighting a vehicle on fire in Richmond Hill. Brampton resident faces human trafficking charges following months-long investigation. Bear cub driven by two men from Northern Ontario to Windsor fed Taco Bell. Salesman charged in luxury vehicle and identity theft fraud, Hamilton police. SIU charges Toronto police officer with careless use of firearm. Two suspects sought in distraction-style theft that targeted 88-year-old Toronto man. These were the headlines, and let's jump right into the details. A call about a suspicious vehicle ended with a Ford Bronco sitting atop a Peel police cruiser at a Tim Hortons drive-thru in Mississauga Tuesday. Peel police said they received a call at around 6:30 p.m. from an individual who was concerned about a person in the area of Westwood Square shopping mall near Galway Drive and Etude Drive. The man had allegedly stolen items from a store a couple of weeks ago and had returned with weapons, police said. Police located the vehicle and determined that it had been stolen. Officers surrounded the stolen vehicle and a number of cruisers were then damaged, police said. Video circulating on social media shows the large red and black Bronco sitting atop the cruiser. In the video, police arrived to box in the vehicle at what appears to be a drive-thru window. The driver initially tries to reverse but sees that he cannot back away. An officer then gets out of his vehicle and points a gun at the passenger side window and tries to instruct the driver. After a moment, the vehicle is then seen accelerating forward and attempting to go over the police cruiser to escape. However, the vehicle is unable to fully mount the cruiser and eventually backs off, revealing a shattered front window on the cruiser. The scene unfolded on a warm evening while it was still light out before a crowd of onlookers. The sequence of events was terrifying, a witness told Awaz News. I honestly thought the police were going to shoot, he said. He said police tasered the suspect when he eventually climbed out of the passenger side window and officers then tackled him. The driver was eventually taken into custody by police, they said Wednesday, that 25-year-old Ramanpreet Singhas being charged with the 3 counts of possession of property obtained by crime, flight from a peace officer, dangerous operation, and obstructing a police officer. He has been held for a bail hearing. The suspect sustained minor injuries in the incident, police said. York Regional Police are seeking 2 suspects who were caught on surveillance camera lighting a vehicle on fire in Richmond Hill on Tuesday. In a video shared on Wednesday, 2 men can be seen walking to a vehicle parked on a driveway of a home near Edgar Avenue and Yonge Street. One of them appears to be carrying a jerry can. Shortly after, they appear to toss an object to the front passenger seat and ignite the vehicle, which goes up in flames. The suspects then flee. A black Ford Expedition SUV, which police said suspects arrived in, is seen speeding away from the scene. The homeowner called emergency services but was able to knock down the fire before they arrived, police said. No injuries were reported to the homeowner, but police believe one of the suspects may have sustained burn injuries when they ignited the vehicle. Investigators have limited descriptions of the suspects, who are both skinny males and were last seen wearing black hooded sweatshirts, black pants, and black masks. Police are asking anyone with the information to contact them at 1-866-876-5423 extension 7241 or Crime Stoppers anonymously. A Brampton resident is one of the 2 people facing dozens of human trafficking charges following a 10-month-old investigation that started in Eastern Ontario. Last September, the Provincial Human Trafficking Intelligence-led Joint Forces Strategy (IJFS) launched Project Nebula to investigate reports of suspected human trafficking. The IJFS consists of 20 police agencies across Ontario, though Kingston, Ottawa, Peel, Toronto, Windsor, and York's services supported this particular investigation. Police say that discovered trafficking activities went beyond eastern Ontario, confirming it trickled down to southern Ontario, Quebec, and as far as Nova Scotia. The IJFS identified 3 female victims through Project Nebula and arrested 2 individuals as a result: a 45-year-old Brampton, Ontario, and a 33-year-old from Sydney. NS police did not disclose their identities due to publication ban, adding further information will not be released. The accused are facing a total of 36 charges, 17 of which are human trafficking charges. The charges have not been tested in court. Officers said the victims have been referred to a dedicated support program. Police urge anyone who is being trafficked or knows of someone who is being trafficked to call local police. Anyone who finds injured wildlife should seek local support for the animal rather than attempting to deal with the situation themselves. The director of an animal rescue charity says, after 2 men picked up a black bear cub in northern Ontario and took it on a 10-hour drive south in their vehicle. The executive director of Chatham Kent's Pet and Wildlife Rescue Center said her organization took care of the bear cub during the Labor Day weekend after it was found in the back of the van in Windsor, Ontario. Miriam Armstrong said 2 men found the bear in the middle of the road while driving near Cochrane, Ontario, decided to bring it to Windsor and said they fed the bear food from Taco Bell. We actually took the bear from the back of their van and they were pretty pleased that they brought the bear down here and that they were feeding him Taco Bell, she said. Armstrong said her team couldn't see any obvious injuries to the 4-month-old bear, but the animal was lethargic and stressed after being in the vehicle for 10 hours. We are assuming the bear was likely hit on the road at some point. It wasn't hurt on the surface, like we couldn't see any obvious injuries, she said. He was just a little bit off, so we just made sure to give him lots of space and dark place to decompress. Chatham Kent's Pet and Wildlife Rescue Center kept the bear overnight on Saturday, and its team contacted a bear rescue organization in Huntsville, Ontario, after which a volunteer drove the bear halfway there and the other organization picked it up. Armstrong said people should seek local help if they encounter injured wild animals and not move them for long distances because they could lead to transferring diseases to new animal population. Hamilton police have arrested a car salesman as part of an investigation into an alleged fraud where luxury vehicles were brought under stolen identities and then re-registered or exported overseas. A 44-year-old man from London, Ontario faces several charges, including 14 counts each of fraud over $5,000 and obtaining credit by fraud. Police allege the sales representative used his position at a local dealership to fraudulently acquire 14 high-end vehicles between November and March 2024. They say the purchases were allegedly financed by loans taken out under stolen identities without the victim's knowledge in a scheme that left the dealership and financial institutions with $1.5 million in losses. Police say only 1 vehicle has been recovered so far, and most of them have been exported out of the country or re-registered. Police say the investigation is still active and more arrests are expected. The province's police watchdog has charged a Toronto cop who fired his gun during a vehicle theft investigation in North York last year. Constable Andrew McDonald is facing one count of careless use of a firearm in connection with the August 9, 2023 incident. According to Special Investigations Unit (SIU), Toronto police officers responded to vehicle theft at around 5 a.m. that day. In the area of a plaza on Underhill Drive, officers became involved in an incident with several vehicles, and one officer discharged his firearm, the civilian agency said, noting that no one was hit by gunfire. In a news release on Wednesday, the SIUN director Joseph Martino was reasonable grounds to believe the constable committed a crime offense in relation to the shooting. McDonald is required to appear in Toronto court on October 3rd. As the matter is before the courts and in consideration of the fair trial interests of the accused, the SIU will not provide further comment on the investigation, the SIU said. While no one was seriously injured in the incident, the SIU is also mandated to investigate the conduct of police that resulted in a firearm discharge. Toronto police are searching for two men who were allegedly involved in a distraction-style theft in May that targeted an 88-year-old man. Police said officers received a call for fraud near Spadina Road and Heath Street on June 6th and shortly after learned about a theft that occurred on May 22nd. The victim was at an ATM when two suspects arrived and stood behind him, police said. One of the suspects, they said, used the other bank machine next to the man, while the other allegedly distracted the victim by pretending to fall. As the victim assisted the suspect, the other suspect allegedly swapped their debit card from the ATM. Subsequently, the suspects proceeded to make several purchases in addition to cash withdrawals in the amount exceeding $10,000, Toronto Police Service alleged in a news release on Wednesday. Police have released photos of the suspect, who are both men in their late 30s with a medium build. One suspect wore a ball cap, a collared striped long-sleeved dress shirt, jeans, and running shoes, while the other wore a ball cap, a dark blue short-sleeved collared shirt, jeans, and running shoes. Investigators believe there are more victims. Anyone with the information is asked to contact police at 416-828-1300 or Crime Stoppers anonymously. That's it for now. I'm Kurali signing off. See you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have a good night.